Hello viewers, this is your SSK and today we have an interesting story from Chadnamama and the name of the story is The King's Handkerchiefs. Once there was a king who loved to go hunting. He always went hunting in disguise. One day after a long day's hunting, the king lost his way. He moved into the part of the jungle which was part of another kingdom. Wandering here and there, he soon felt very thirsty. Wandering here and there, he soon felt very thirsty, so he searched for a well or a pond to quench his thirst. After a long search, he came upon a spring. As he was taking a sip of water, he heard some loud laughter. He looked around for the source of voices and saw some girls bathing in the river. Among them, there was a very beautiful girl. A few questions revealed that she was a princess of another kingdom. The king, however, did not reveal his identity to the princess and her friends. When they came out of the water, he expressed his desire to marry the princess. She shyly replied, "You must speak to my father, only he can decide what's good for me." So the king reached her kingdom and approached her father. "I would like to marry your daughter," he told the old king. The father did not inquire about this suitor to his daughter's hand. He only wanted to know how he could earn his livelihood. "I could do good drawing and needlework," said the king. The old king was satisfied. Soon the princess and the king in disguise were married. They returned to the king's palace. Another day, when the king went hunting, he stopped by at a village which was being looted by a gang of dacoits. The dacoits did not recognize the king who was in disguise. They took him hostage and made away with him to their den in the forest. The king protested that he had no wealth to give them, but the dacoits were not convinced. A week passed, the dacoits fed and took care of the king, although he insisted that he had no wealth to give away. At last, the king suggested to the dacoits, "Get me some plain handkerchiefs and I will embroider them. You may sell them in the palace. The queen is very fond of embroidered handkerchiefs and will surely buy them. You can keep the money that you make out of the sale." The dacoits agreed. They looted all the cloth stores in kingdom and brought many handkerchiefs for the king. He patiently embroidered them with floral designs and also included some words in the patterns. The illiterate dacoits could not make out of the words, so they thought they too were part of the patterns. They took the handkerchiefs for sale to the queen. As soon as she saw them, she recognized her husband's handwork. She also understood that her husband was trying to convey a message. She brought all the kerchiefs and by piecing the message all together, she understood what had happened to him. She instructed her soldiers and at that night they found their way to the dacoits' den and freed their king. The dacoits were catched.